All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh by Shimon Shai, by Shem Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful lake brothers out there and a few sisters that's tuning in. I say Shalom to you. And also, there's like foreigners that's spread out through the four corners of the earth that may not come in the appearance of what a natural Israelite may look like, but they taken on the appearances of the nations that they're scattered amongst, but they spirit and they seed line goes back to one of the 12 tribes. They believe and they're learning. I say shalom to you as well. And I just played a clip of a video of a young girl walking. Looked like she was probably at some kind of shopping strip or something like that. It looks like it's, I don't know exactly where it took place, but it looked like it's either in like South or Central America, one of the northern kingdom countries probably. um she got snatched up in broad daylight. Two men and jumped out the car, and the guy that was about to get on his moped and drive off, he didn't want no part. He took off. Dude had a gun in his hand and he snatched his chick up and threw her in the back seat of the car. And this happened, they didn't care if it was cameras there or not. They took her. So we coming into those times where that's gonna be a common thing. Women getting snatched up. It's been happening here in the United States for a while now, with this whole human trafficking and then sex trafficking rings that they got going on. Organizations that are snatching people up, whether they snatching people up to get their organs, to sell their organs on the black market, or whether they organ sales and things of that nature, or whether they snatching up women to take partake in their sex trafficking rings. But it's gonna get even worse. It's gonna be times where the women are not even gonna just be getting snatched up for that. You gonna give it, they're gonna be getting snatched up and handled right then on the spot, or took somewhere to be dealt with in harsh ways. And it's gonna get worse and worse. It's gonna become a normality. Like it's just a normal situation that this happens. You got vans that are going around different areas where there's insulation, where if a woman gets snatched up and thrown in the back of it, she could scream to the top of her lungs. You could be standing right outside the van and don't hear nothing, because it's soundproof, so you can't even hear. um they pull up and they put stuff on women's windows, and as they're looking at what they're reading, a note or something that's on the window, or looking at what's on and they get swooped up. Car pulls up right there. They can't run. They get snatched up. It's happening, especially you Southern Kingdom women of the nation of Israel. Y'all are getting snatched up. They're not talking about it. You gotta actually do some real watching of some real news that is reporting on these things, and articles and websites that are actually blowing a whistle on this, that black women are getting snatched up more than any woman out there. So let's get into the first scripture. This is Sirach 42 and 9. It says, the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care of her take it away sleep. Why? Because he's up worried about where she at. Doesn't matter what in today's society. See this right here, when this scripture was written, things like this will be taking place. You don't have your daughter out late at night, or at night. Women, y'all run around all hours of the day. It doesn't matter. And in this day, as time getting goes on, people are getting bolder. That's why you see this young girl. She's walking by herself, which is probably not a wise thing to do, especially in the country she's in. If something like this is taking place, that ain't the first time something like this is taking place. The people in that area know that this type of things happen. Law enforcement probably don't even really do much. She's gone. You know what we could do about it? We're not going door to door, busting in people's houses looking for a girl that got snatched up. 9 times out of 10, this little girl will never be found again from her family, or heard of from again from her family. This is something that just happens all the time, and it's gonna get worse and worse. And it says, so the father is up late. The father's up worried about where his daughter's at. When she is young, least she pass away the flower of her age, and being married, least should be hated. Meaning he would be worried about if she out there getting popped, some dude running up in her and taking her virginity, basically marrying her, joining unto her. Um, is she out there sleeping around? Is she out there whoring? Is she out there, giving her body up to different men, shaming the house? Should she be hated for these actions? But in the times we're in, it ain't gonna be it's not about worried about is she out sleeping around. Did she get murdered? Did she get hacked up? Is she been kidnapped? Excuse me. In her virginity, least she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house and having a husband. Least she least she should misbehave herself, and when she is married, least she should be barren. Meaning, she got pregnant because she was out there, you know, misbehaving herself, and now she's found with child in her father's house and not married. Not She doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have someone that like that she's going to be married unto, like a solid marriage, like a union between the two. She just basically got pregnant by a dude. It says, "Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter, lest she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies, and a byword in the city, and a reproach among the people, and make thee ashamed before the multitude." So people will see how, she over there, his daughter is wilding out. Um, and this is how this goes. This also applies to what's coming in the future. At the times we're in now, because women they do whatever the hell they want to do now. The fathers are playing a minute role in the households nowadays, especially if you're Israelite. You're under the curses. That's part of the curses. That's just what it is. Fathers ain't worried about their daughter getting popped like that unless it's a solid foundation of a double parent home. If the father is a what they would call a good man, doing what he's supposed to do, which is take care of his children, be part of his family. But we're coming into the times where the danger is on its way. Fathers are going to be worried about if they don't hear from their daughter at a certain time, will he ever see her again? Did she get snatched up? Because the daughter, the little girl in that video, if her father was in her life, which I would probably say he wasn't, she, walking around by herself like that, she just was, that was collateral damages right there. Like her family made her collateral damages, allowing her to be out. Like, cause I there's no way that I will sit up and believe that that's the first time some girl got snatched up in a car. Them guys did that with no worries or concern. They've done that plenty times before. They didn't care about no bystanders watching, people recording. They didn't care about the cameras. They wanted that girl. They didn't care who saw it. Dude had a gun out. He was ready. That's why the other guy took off running, who was going to get on the moped. He took off running because he saw this dude coming towards that way with a gun. So he took off running. And the other dude just came and helped to snatch her up. Verse 12, "Behold, not everybody's beauty, and sit not in the midst of women. For from garments cometh a moth, and from a woman's wickedness better is the churlishness of a man than a courteous woman, a woman, I say, which bringeth shame and reproach." And that situation, that the video that I played, is that she didn't bring a haughty shame or a harlot shame or reproach, but she brought sorrow to the family because they probably will never see her again. This is Jeremiah 4:30. It says, "And when thou art spoiled, What will thou do? Because our women are y'all in spoiled conditions now with how society views the woman, the position of the woman in today's society. Women are in most households believe that they run the family, that they in control, that they're running things. Especially if they have a man that's not an alpha male and it's not a manly man, and just have a guy like what doesn't understand true morals, principles, and values of what a spiritual man is supposed to be. He's gonna let her run the household. So our women are spoiled in today's world. Though thou clotheth thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting in vain, and that's talking about your makeup that women be wearing. I don't really know the age of that girl, but she looked young, and you can guarantee she probably had a face full of makeup, looking nice and pretty, and had her makeup dolled up. They call it beating their face, what women say, whatever, with beating their face with the witchcraft. That's what makeup is witchcraft, because it makes a woman look like a totally different person. Just a quick testimony. I seen this video on YouTube. This white dude is with this. I don't know if she's African, but she's a melanated, dark skinned woman. So I don't know exactly if she's, of another nation or she one of the tribes. But she was dark skinned. I didn't really get to check her spirits too well. But it was a video that's basically her boyfriend doesn't know how she really looks. She basically is doing this video showing a recording of her boyfriend, of her her showing, basically she's doing the video without no makeup. So she looks like one person. Then she got a video with makeup on with her boyfriend. That's what he sees her. And then in the video, she comes up to the boyfriend and talks to him, and he doesn't even know that it's her. She doesn't have makeup on. He doesn't even have no idea that it's his actual girlfriend that he's talking to. And then she walks away from him, and then she, goes away. And then later on, she puts her makeup back on and goes back to meet up with the guy. To this day, this dude don't even know that he was talking to his girlfriend or what she looks like without makeup. And she said he'll never see me without makeup. So it's like, it's witchcraft. You turn yourself into looking like a totally different person with major enhancements to your looks. It adds, in their mind, it makes them beautiful. And that's why it says here, thou rentest thy face with paintings in vain. It's in vain because that's not how you really look. You're portraying the look of something or someone else that is not you. It says, shalt thou make thyself fair? Thy lover will despise thee. They will seek thy life. Like, your lover gonna despise you once he finds out what you really look like. And then people will gonna be after you, seeking your life for what you don't. Gonna be seeking your life for what you look like, which is not really how you really look. So a lot of women gonna be getting snatched up, and they don't even look the way the person that's snatching them up sees. That's not how they really look. You're getting snatched up because you made yourself look better than what you really are. Verse 31, for I have heard a voice as a woman in travail, and the anguish as of her that bringeth forth her first child, the voice of the daughters of Zion, that bewaileth herself, that spreadeth her hand, saying, woe is me now! Exclamation mark. Woe is me now. This is how our women are going to be. That's what's going to be going on in their mind. It says, for my soul is worried because of murderers. Because they're going to be murderers on y'all bumper. See, all you women, y'all so vain. Most of these women out, the social media was another way that the government put out there for people to occupy themselves with vanity, with vain and self glorification. so you can get up on there and take all these pictures of yourself and post them on social media, and as a tool to say, hey, look at me. And also, all you women, it says here, it says, woe is me, for my soul is worried because of murders. Those murders are gonna be on your bumper. And y'all women y'all love to, like, the famous side angles where you gotta look back and show your face, but you gotta show the angle so you can so your ass can be poking out, so you can show, you know, your derriere. Well, those murderers are gonna be coming after that. Is Isaiah, which is one of one of our famous scriptures we go to when it comes to the trouble you women are gonna find yourselves in. Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. And that's the thing about when these women get snatched up with, you know, the sex trafficking. It's years. They don't be getting found. The only time the women get found is if the government or if law enforcement actually shuts down one of their rings. Like if then maybe the girls that get freed up in there. But they got so many of these circuits going on, of these sex circuits, of these sex trafficking rings where they don't keep these women in one location too long. I watched documentaries on it. They constantly got a rotation of moving women. I'm talking about not just moving from one location to the next, but one city to the next, one state to the next, one country to the next. They constantly have these women on the move because sex sells, and it sells everywhere. There's no part of the earth that people aren't having sex at. So as long as they keep putting these rings up in different locations, some of these places, some of these sex rings, man, from the documentary I read, and I'm not read, so like it's that I saw, some of these they make $30 million a week. Just on that, constantly moving in and out girls. A lot of these sex trafficking rings be these so-called model agencies that they'll come to certain a country, like say the U.S. So they go to Kentucky or go somewhere in the South or Midwest, and they have this modeling pageant. Girls from certain ages can go and they can basically participate in a modeling contest, and the girls that they pick out of that is supposedly getting a modeling contracts to go to Paris or London somewhere, go to some fancy country that's known to present models. And they tell the parent, basically the parent is not going to be able to go with their child. They're not going to be able to take off work and go out the country and to go help push forward their daughter's modeling career that they don't have no guarantees for. Parents gonna stay back and they're gonna sign a waiver to give consent for their daughter to go out there, and they're gonna tell these people that you don't have to pay anything. They have them sign a fake contract, and these people think they got a solid ironclad contract modeling agency with the modeling agency, and they really just signed fake papers, and their daughter just got took over, and they probably never see her again. And they just got hold of these girls, and they just take them off. And these girls, it'll seem like it's legit at first, but then when they get them into them other countries, that's when they get the back breaking them. So back at verse 10. It says, many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall not fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and girt sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars. yea, upon all the houses of joy and in a joyous city. So it's gonna be a sad lamenting, meaning crying. A lot of women are gonna be crying, and a lot of family members too. A lot of men gonna be crying for what they're gonna see happening to their mothers, their wives, their daughters, their sisters. It's just gonna be all over happening because the Most High, He's gonna have it out for a lot of our women of the nation of Israel because of the ways of how our women are living and conducting themselves now. That's why the last scripture says they're gonna say, "Woe as me now," because why are you saying now? Because the judgment's gonna come now. You're gonna find yourself uh, in the hands of the Most High. And the scriptures tell you, matter of fact, let me get it real quick. Hebrews 10:31 is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to be in the hands of the Most High, and you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer the wrath of His judgment. So with that, this video that I played is going to become a normal thing, and you're going to have tons of women local. You're going to be hearing about it. So and such daughter is missing. Such and such. They used to put it on the back of the milk cartons. I don't drink milk no more, so I don't know if they still do it now. But it used to be when you walk into Walmart, all the local kids that are being kidnapped were being displayed. I don't even know if they still doing that because there's people are getting abducted, kidnapped, at such a high alarm rate, especially women, especially Southern Kingdom women. And then also you having home invasions too. That's another point that's gonna make a lot of women suffer. All you independent, strong, so-called black women, black Hispanic women, they believe you don't need a man for nothing. But when that bump in the night happens, you got your place. You see them. They be all on their social media, be posting how they sanctuary they crib, whether they got an apartment, condo, or a townhouse, or where they got them a house. They showing you they where they how they decorate and everything, and they in that house by themselves. They living in there by themselves, and you don't need a man, right? Or you feel like ain't nothing a man can do for you. But when you sleeping and you hear something smash, crash somewhere in your place, and you don't know what it is, and you look over, ain't no man in the bed with you because you miss independent, you too strong, you don't have to have a man for nothing. So you got to get up and go see what the hell just happened, what's going on in your place. And it might be one dude, it might be a group of dudes. Either way it go, it's not going to be good for you. And this is the things that's going to be happening. So I'm going to bring this video to a close. Hopefully it was edifying for whoever was able to tune in. It's about to get extremely serious and real. Like, it's serious and real now, but it's going to be on a main scale. Like, it's going to be magnified. It's going to be happening so often that it can't be ignored. With that, I say shalom. Kyle Halal, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Barakatah. Ba'ashem HaRakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.